Hey guys, welcome back. I am feeling really great right now. I just got back from a big event at a park that was held by a church, not the one that I went to the other day with my husband's family. This was like a different church in a neighboring town. Sorry. So sorry guys. I just got done eating also. Braces suck if anyone's ever had them. Anyways, so they had this like huge event in the park. They had like a concert where they sang songs like about Jesus, and just like it was just beautiful. They had like snow machines, lots of bouncy houses for the kids, a petting zoo, a skating rink. You could ride, the little kids could ride little ponies, face painting, food trucks. I mean, just they had music playing, decorations. I mean, it was just like little play areas where the kids could play, and it was amazing, and it was beautiful, and the concert part was just amazing, and one of the songs actually made me cry because it was just so like they they sung the songs and the words in just such a way that was like I really just felt like in my spirit I just felt the love that everyone's always talking about, that God has for us, that Jesus has for us, when they say that he died on the cross for us and died for our sins, and because he loves us so much, and this and that. And, obviously I haven't gotten to that part in the Bible yet, but it made me all the more like excited to get to that part in the Bible because I just really like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was like something I just felt deep in my soul, in my spirit, when they were singing these songs. Like it just brought out this like emotion in me that I didn't even like really understand. And it's crazy because the same thing happened at church the other day when I went for the first time. Um they were singing the beginning for like 15 minutes. They have what they call worship, which they call worship, where they sing songs and they just really feel the moment and everything. But the songs were in Spanish, so I didn't know what they were saying. But for some reason, I still just felt like I wanted to cry, and like I just, and not in a bad way, like in just like a, oh my God, like I just felt the love. I felt the spirit. I just felt it in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit, like, and it was just overwhelming. And the same thing happened tonight, and it was just beautiful. And um also I just thought it was like such a great way for a church to invite people to, you know, open their minds and hearts to God, to Jesus, to church, the Bible, just all of it, like because they started with the songs, and then in the middle, they kind of, before they finished and opened up all the activities, the pastor of the church that held the event kind of talked about things and a little bit, and kind of just like slowly just kind of was saying like good things, and kind of did like a, I guess what you would call a sermon, like a mini one. But he did it in such a way that was like he led you to it, and then like gently gave you a sermon without it being like overbearing. And that is actually one of the reasons why I actually started to want to know about Jesus, God, the Bible, church, everything, Christians, and all of that, is because my husband's family, they're Christians and they go to church and they're big believers and have faith and all that, and are very active in their life in that and in church, and but they never pushed it on me. They never shoved it down my throat. They never preached to me. They never like sat me down and was like, Jesus loves you. You should give church a chance. Like they kind of just went about their lives as normal and then would just talk about it like normal, but they never talked at me. They never like made me feel pressure. They never like, they like did it in a gentle way. And then also like just seeing how their lives were, I mean, they're not perfect by any means. No one is, but I saw their lives and then I saw my life and then other people's lives, like my family and stuff like that I'm used to. And I was just like, man, I want to live life like they are living life, And I think the best way that you can get people to open their minds and hearts to wanting to know about God, Jesus, the Bible, church, all of it, is to just lead by example. I think that shoving it down people's throats, which is what turned me off for a long time, is just not always the way to go. I think the way that they did it tonight at the concert and the park and all of the activities, I think was such a great way to just kind of gently get people to be like, hey, like, wow, these are great people. They're nice. They're amazing. I like the way they are. That concert was great. Like, I'm curious, like, I think just being an example and just showing people love is the best way that you can get them to want to open their minds and hearts to God. And it has to be when they're ready too. If you're not ready, it's kind of like, how people say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink. You don't force the horse to the water. You lead them, you know, gently, and then you encourage them to drink and you hope that they drink. But, you're not going to get very far if you're pulling them and yanking them and shoving them to the water and then shoving their face in the water. I mean, you know what I mean? I hope you guys know what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm very like hyped up right now. I also just had some soda, so I'm a little caffeine high right now too. So a little sugar and caffeine in myself. Not so great at late at night. But anyways, I hope I got across what I was trying to say. Which was basically just, you know, I think the best way is just to lead by example instead of like shoving things in people's face. Because people are going to look and be like, oh, wow, like I like the way they are. They're really nice people. I love the way they live their life. I'm curious, like just like throw little nuggets at people instead of like shoving it in their face, like, like the people that go door to door. Like, no one likes that. Anyways, my rambling is done, guys. So sorry. I just was very excited about the concert and I had a really great time and I just really wanted to share my thoughts. So, okay, I'm done talking. Let's get started.
Then Joshua commanded the officers of the people, "Go through the camp and tell the people, 'Get provisions ready for yourselves, for within 3 days you will be crossing the Jordan to go in and take possession of the land the Lord your God is giving you to inherit.'" Joshua said to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh, "Remember what Moses the Lord's servant commanded you when he said, 'The Lord your God will give you rest, and he will give you this land.' Your wives, dependents, and livestock may remain in the land Moses gave you on this side of the Jordan. But your best soldiers must cross over in battle formation ahead of your brothers and help them until the Lord gives your brothers rest, as he has given you. And they too possess the land the Lord your God is giving them. You may then return to the land of your inheritance and take possession of what Moses the Lord's servant gave you on the east side of the Jordan." They answered Joshua, "Everything you have commanded us we will do, and everywhere you send us we will go. We will obey you, just as we obeyed Moses in everything. Certainly the Lord your God will be with you, as he was with Moses." Anyone who rebels against your order and does not obey your words and all that you command him will be put to death. Above all, be strong and courageous." Joshua son of Nun secretly sent 2 men as spies from the acacia grove, saying, "Go and scout the land, especially Jericho." So they left, and they came to the house of a prostitute named Rahab, and stayed there. The king of Jericho was told, "Look, some of the Israelite men have come here tonight to investigate the land." Then the king of Jericho sent word to Rahab and said, "Bring out the men who came to you and entered your house, for they came to investigate the entire land." But the woman had taken the 2 men and hidden them. So she said, "Yes, the men did come to me, but I didn't know where they were from." At nightfall, when the city gate was about to close, the men went out, and I don't know where they were going. Chase after them quickly, and you can catch up with them. But she had taken them up to the roof and hidden them among the stalks of flax that she had arranged on the roof. The men pursued them along the road to the fords of the Jordan, and as soon as they left to pursue them, the city gate was shut. Before the men fell asleep, she went up on the roof and said to them, "I know that the Lord has given you this land, and that the terror of you has fallen on us, and everyone who lives in the land is panicking because of you. For we have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea before you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to Sihon and Og, the 2 Amorite kings you completely destroyed across the Jordan. When we heard this, we lost heart, and everyone's courage failed because of you. For the Lord your God is God in heaven, above and on earth below. Now please swear to me by the Lord that you will also show kindness to my father's family, because I showed kindness to you. Give me a sure sign that you will spare the lives of my father, mother, brothers, sisters, and all who belong to them, and save us from death." The men answered her, "We will give our lives for yours. If you don't report our mission, we will show kindness and faithfulness to you when the Lord gives us the land." Then she let them down by a rope through the window, since she lived in a house that was built into the wall of the city. "Go to the hill country so that the men pursuing you won't find you," she said to them. "Hide there for 3 days until they return. Afterward, go on your way." The men said to her, "We will be free from this oath you made us swear, unless when we enter the land, you tie this scarlet cord to the window through which you let us down. Bring your father, mother, brothers, and all your father's family into your house. If anyone goes out the doors of your house, his death will be his own fault, and we will be innocent. But if anyone with you in the house should be harmed, his death will be our fault. And if you report our mission, we are free from the oath you made us swear." "Let it be as you say," she replied, and she sent them away. After they had gone, she tied the scarlet cord to the window. So the 2 men went into the hill country and stayed there 3 days until the pursuers had returned. They searched all along the way, but did not find them. Then the men returned, came down from the hill country, and crossed the Jordan. They went to Joshua son of Nun and reported everything that had happened to them. They told Joshua, "The Lord has handed over the entire land to us. Everyone who lives in the land is also panicking because of us." Joshua started early the next morning and left the acacia grove with all the Israelites. They went as far as the Jordan and stayed there before crossing. After 3 days, the officers went through the camp and commanded the people, "When you see the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord your God carried by the Levitical priests, you are to break camp and follow it. But keep a distance of about 1,000 yards between yourselves and the ark. Don't go near it, so that you can see the way to go, for you haven't traveled this way before." Joshua told the people, "Consecrate yourselves, because the Lord will do wonders among you tomorrow." Then he said to the priests, "Carry the Ark of the Covenant and go on ahead of the people." So they carried the Ark of the Covenant and went ahead of them. The Lord spoke to Joshua, "Today I will begin to exalt you in the sight of all Israel, so they will know that I will be with you just as I was with Moses. Command the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant, when you reach the edge of the water, stand in the Jordan." Then Joshua told the Israelites, "Come closer and listen to the words of the Lord your God. He said, 'You will know that the living God is among you, and that he will certainly dispossess before you the Canaanites, Hethites, Hivites, Perizzites, Girgashites, Amorites, and Jebusites, when the ark of the covenant of the Lord of the whole earth goes ahead of you into the Jordan.' Now choose 12 men from the tribes of Israel, 1 man for each tribe. When the feet of the priests who carry the ark of the Lord of the whole earth, come to rest in the Jordan's water, its water will be cut off. The water flowing downstream will stand up in a mass. When the people broke camp to cross the Jordan, the priests carried the ark of the covenant ahead of the people. Now the Jordan overflows its bank throughout the harvest season. But as soon as the priests carrying the ark reached the Jordan, their feet touched the water at its edge, and the water flowing downstream stood still, rising up in a mass that extended as far as Adam, a city next to Zarethan. The water flowing downstream into the Sea of the Arabah, the Dead Sea, was completely cut off, and the people crossed opposite Jericho. The priest carrying the ark of the Lord's covenant stood firmly on dry ground in the middle of the Jordan, while all Israel crossed on dry ground until the entire nation had finished crossing the Jordan. After the entire nation had finished crossing the Jordan, the Lord spoke to Joshua, "Choose 12 men from the people, 1 man for each tribe, and command them, 'Take 12 stones from this place in the middle of the Jordan where the priests are standing, carry them with you, and set them down at the place where you spend the night.'" So Joshua summoned the 12 men he had selected from the Israelites, 1 man for each tribe, and said to them, "Go across to the ark of the Lord your God in the middle of the Jordan. Each of you lift a stone onto his shoulder, 1 for each of the Israelite tribes, so that this will be a sign among you. In the future, when your children ask you, 'What do these stones mean to you?' you should tell them, 'The water of the Jordan was cut off in front of the ark of the Lord's covenant. When it crossed the Jordan's water was cut off. Therefore, these stones will always be a memorial for the Israelites." The Israelites did just as Joshua had commanded them. The 12 men took stones from the middle of the Jordan, 1 for each of the Israelite tribes, just as the Lord had told Joshua. They carried them to the camp and set them down there. Joshua also set up 12 stones in the middle of the Jordan where the priests who carried the Ark of the Covenant were standing. The stones are still there today. The priests carrying the ark continued standing in the middle of the Jordan until everything was completed that the Lord had commanded Joshua to tell the people, in keeping with all that Moses had commanded Joshua. The people hurried across, and after everyone had finished crossing, the priest with the ark of the Lord crossed in the sight of the people. The Reubenites, Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh went in battle formation in front of the Israelites, as Moses had instructed them. About 40,000 equipped for war crossed the plains of Jericho in the Lord's presence. On that day, the Lord exalted Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they revered him throughout his life, as they had revered Moses. The Lord told Joshua, "Command the priests who carry the ark of the testimony to come up from the Jordan." So Joshua commanded the priests, "Come up from the Jordan." When the priests carrying the ark of the Lord's covenant came up from the middle of the Jordan, and their feet stepped out on solid ground, the water of the Jordan resumed its course, flowing over all the banks as before. The people came up from the Jordan on the 10th day of the first month, and camped at Gilgal, on the eastern limits of Jericho. Then Joshua set up in Gilgal the 12 stones they had taken from the Jordan, and he said to the Israelites, "In the future, when your children ask their fathers, 'What is the meaning of these stones?' you should tell your children, 'Israel crossed the Jordan on dry ground.' For the Lord your God dried up the water of the Jordan before you until you had crossed over, just as the Lord your God did the Red Sea, which he dried up before us until we had crossed over. This is so that all the peoples of the earth may know that the Lord's hand is strong, and so that you may always fear the Lord your God.
Okay, guys, there we have it. Today's chapters are done. You know, I don't know. It was a great night, and I really hope that everyone has a good Christmas. And oh, interesting fact that I just learned recently, and if anyone has some light they could shed on it, I would love that because I haven't looked it up myself yet. But when I went to my in-laws church the other day, they were talking about like Christmas and why some Christians don't celebrate it and some do, and there's, a lot of people like that argue about it. And then they were saying, like, even though it hasn't been proven that Jesus Christ's birthday is December 25th, and I was like, wait, what? I thought that was Jesus's birthday. And apparently that they don't know the exact date and that there is no proof that it is the 25th of December. And I was like, what? I had no idea. My whole life I thought that it was Jesus' birthday. So I don't know. I was a little like, I have to look that up and look into that a little bit more because I just I had no idea. Like, and I don't know why everyone's fighting. Like, if you don't want to celebrate Christmas, don't celebrate Christmas. If you do want to celebrate Christmas, celebrate Christmas. Like, you do you. Do what you feels right for you. As long as the intention behind it is good and you're doing it for the right reasons and you're not like doing anything bad, like, you know, for your spirit and soul, and you're making sure you're still putting God as your number one priority, then like, I don't know. I don't know why people like argue like about stuff like that. I mean, like, we have bigger problems than if you celebrate Christmas or not. Come on, people. Anyways. Okay, guys. Well, I will try to do a video tomorrow, but I'm not making any guarantees, but I'm gonna try. So, because tomorrow's Christmas Eve and we do like a big thing at my in-laws house, in-laws family's house, and but I'm definitely gonna try to make a video tomorrow because it's important. So, I'm trying to be more disciplined because I told God I would try harder. So, okay, guys, I'm done rambling. Good night. Talk to you guys hopefully tomorrow. Bye.